Good morning, everyone. I'm surrounded by red things, and I'll tell you what today I'm hoping to share with you today. So I've just come back from a visit to my dad yesterday. I go down whenever I can. My brother's living nearby now, and I went to see my dad yesterday. It's a beautiful day. I just spent one night there. And I helped him this time to sort out, my mum and dad always have had a real kind of scarcity mentality. So if it's good to have butter, then it's good to have 20 packets of butter. And consequently, they have a shed down the bottom of the garden, which my nephew calls the bunker. Because, you know, if there ever was a nuclear war, that would be the place to head for. There's everything you could possibly need there. But what I was finding was that now that Dad's, fending for himself and making his own meals, and he's eating the same things he likes, which is tins of rice pudding and tins of tomato soup, and then my brother will pop in and make him something lovely. And so he's doing fine. He's eating a lot of cereal. He likes that. But what I was finding was that there was a load of stuff that was down in the bunker that was going out of date. It was all in tins and jars, and so it wasn't going mouldy or in the freezer. So it was all fine. The food was fine. But what I was finding was that they were buying food that they already had. So the last time I was there, I did a big old clear out, and this time my aim was to go to this outdoor, it's a brick-built building, it's a nice little outhouse, to go and bring back into the house all the edible food and not have any more food down in the bunker at all, and even unplug the freezer. So then I discovered what was actually in the freezer. There's only one thing in the freezer. Fruit. Lots and lots and lots of fruit. Raspberries mostly. Because I mentioned before, my dad's a fantastic grower. He can grow anything. And his raspberry plot, it's not very big, but oh my God, the amount of raspberries he produces is unbelievable. So he would come in with a little container of raspberries like this. This is like last year and possibly the year before. And my mum would go, oh, not more raspberries. What am I going to do with these? Which I think there's worse problems to have than too many raspberries, eh? So they would put them into, well, what they would do is they would put them into little single serving bags like this, and then put them in the freezer. And I must have 30 here, little bags like this. And they're quite disgusting. In fact, they're very disgusting. Not that the food's disgusting, the food's perfectly fine, but the way that it's all defrosted and the way that it is now, in fact, those don't look particularly lovely, so I'll take those out. These are strawberries, in fact, and we all know strawberries don't freeze. But they still make great jam, which is what my plan is. So my idea was, I'll get these strawberries out, I don't like the look of those. So this was my idea, was to bring all the raspberries back. They're just going in the sink that's full of water, and make jam. And so to that end, here are loads of jam jars. And I mean loads of jam jars. So I brought back all the jam jars from the bunker, loads of them. Then in another cupboard, just in case they ever ran out, there was sugar, and this wasn't the only sugar. So the plan is then to empty all of these soggy raspberry bags into this big bowl, and I've got all my big bowls out today because I think I'm going to need them all, using the raspberries that my dad grew. There's strawberries again, don't want them. Using the sugar that they hoarded, using the jam jars that were huge numbers of jam jars in the shed, and then I'm going to have to wipe my hands to show you this on my colour coordinated rag here. So then when I've made the jam, today's job is to soak all of these and then sterilise these. There's two ways you can sterilise them. You can either put them in the dishwasher on a very hot wash, which is what I might do, or I might just get them really, really clean and then sterilise them in the oven. That's the other way you can do it. So then, if you're following on, jam, Grandad's strawberries, stockpiled sugar, saved jam jars, jam, but then I went into her fabric stock and I got all the red bits of scraps that she's got. And so some lovely red bits of fabric, which are very raspberry. And finally, in this tin here, this is a ribbon tin. So with a bit of luck over the next couple of days, there will be jam in a clean jar, some sort of label. I haven't decided about the label yet. I was thinking about that as I was driving home yesterday, of what the label's going to be. Raspberry jam. Now, when I get to the bottom of this box, there is some fruit as well that isn't raspberries, it's black currants. So, and I've got a little bit of rhubarb. I'm not sure if I want to put rhubarb in with it. There's a couple of, here, this is rhubarb, here. Might put it in, might not. Whatever. I'm going to have enough jam for every single member of the family to have Nana's jam, Mum's jam, or Violet's jam, depending on how I decide to label it. And probably some leftovers too. So I asked my dad if I could do this. He was really pleased. Because what was going to happen, you know, with this bag of raspberries that's been in the freezer since at least last year, quite possibly the year before, but I'm reckoning that by the time I've jammed them, it's not actually going to matter if they were this year's, last year's, or the year before's. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to undo all of these raspberries, all soggy, because of course I didn't have any means of keeping them frozen on the way home. It's a long drive, and so the job needs to be done today. It's all defrosted on me. That's all right though, because it's a very cold day. There's a ground frost out there today, and so although there's plenty to do in the garden, it's too cold to do it. So I'm quite happy to stay inside and make jam. Okay, so if you can see this box down here, one of them was in a big carrier bag, and I just left it on the floor in the porch. And of course, by this morning, they'd all defrosted and it looked like a murder scene out there. So I've spent half an hour mopping up the porch. It was a silly place to put them. I've seemed to have snagged quite a lot of these as well. I mean, I've taped them back, but Dad's got hundreds, because that was another thing they would stockpile. I think basically it was like a prudent thing of, if a few of these are a good idea, then a lot of them is a very good idea. And I know that mentality because I have it myself. So I'm going to do that. I've got a lot of big bowls. They're all great. They're all absolutely brilliant. This big bowl's nearly full. I wonder how much I'll make. How much they'll end up being. Now that's another rhubarb. I'm going to have to decide what to do with the rhubarb. It might be that I make a small batch of rhubarb and ginger jam with that. And that looks to me like raspberry puree. Well, we might just bung that in with the mix as well. More rhubarb, yeah. It's looking more likely that it's going to be a rhubarb and ginger jam here. What's in here? Yeah, rhubarb, definitely. Rhubarb and ginger jam. Does anybody like rhubarb and ginger jam? I don't, but I bet there are people out there who do. Because as well as, you know, family members perhaps enjoying this jam, my dad's got loads of friends. Loads of friends. And every time they come, you can give them some jam. Now this is not raspberries, this is blackberries. So I've got an extra bowl over there, which is where the blackberries are going. So the plan would be then, blackberries, is to make straightforward raspberry jam. Now obviously some rhubarb and ginger jam. And then some summer fruits with raspberries and black currants. And whatever else I find down in this box. Rhubarb. Okay. Yes, of course, Dad grows lots of rhubarb. And Mum would have just stewed it all up. I'll have to taste that. She might have put sugar with it. She definitely hasn't put sugar with these. What a lovely thing, though, that everyone's going to have a bit of Nana's jam. And what's in there? Rhubarb. Ugh, this is a very messy job. I'm glad I'm only having to do it once. These are like raspberry puree. All of these, raspberry puree. So I'm guessing that once I get the jam going, I'll just tip those in. Raspberry puree. Oh. See what this one is? This one. Gravy. I won't put that in. There's another blackberries here. Blackberries can go in the other bowl. So that's what I'm going to be doing then today. Obviously, I'll come back and tell you how it's all looking. I might, you know, do a few little time lapses or something like that. And we can see the end result by the time I've finished it. I also, yesterday coming home, because when I drive home from Lancashire, where Dad lives, to where I live in Northumberland, with the rhubarb, I come up the M6 along the through the Lake District. It's very beautiful. There's the road is amazing. It's a shame there is a road through that beautiful part of the world, but there is. And you have to get from north to south, I suppose. Anyway, I did a video of it, but it won't upload. So I'm still working on that one. It's just a little road trip video. So for now then, I think I've got my work cut out. Oh, there's another one there. Didn't get in. There's another one. It's like cracking eggs open, isn't it? I guess they did eat these, but they just had far more than they could eat. And Dad will never eat them in a month of Sundays. But he will eat them as jam. Let's just put that in there. There we go. Definitely very pink day today. Do you like raspberry jam? I don't like rhubarb jam. I don't really like rhubarb very much. I don't grow much rhubarb, just for friends. There now. That's all of them now. That's full. And that is a big bowl. So I shall weigh it out, measure it out carefully. It'll be the very standard jam recipe of a pint of fruit to a pint of, or a pound of sugar. Very simple. And yeah, jam jars to wash, circles to cut out of fabric, jam to make, and all of this lot to clear up. I'll see how we get on. Get back to you later.